Greetings everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Unclear and well, today I'm going to go over 6 builds you want to take into Pantheon and the final shape. So stay with me, the last build is a bit unique, so we'll go over a few builds and sort of how they play. So first build, we have Chaos Reach Warlock. Now this build is pretty self-explanatory. It's about just clearing the field of adds, doing some pretty decent damage with your super, but all round looking for a bit of a monster stat distribution. So as you see here, stat distribution: 100 resilience, 100 recav, 100 discipline. Now the exotic for this piece is Geomag stabilizers for the extended range and more frequent chaos reaches. It's awesome. Your chaos reach lasts so much longer and it makes a big difference. In terms of weapons, there's a few you could use. I actually like using an arc auto, but I do have summoner as part of this loadout because I've been using it quite a bit. But you can use prosecutor. I have a golden tricon rewind round prosecutor that works really nicely. Or you can chuck on forbearance and then chuck on a primary of your choice. If you really want to make good use of it, you could go whisper for damage, extended damage phases, or you can use G-horns, or you can use GLs. Damage weapons don't really matter. This is purely about the subclass and what you need to run. On the armor, I have heavy ammo finder, heavy ammo scout, and arc siphon for using the arc auto rifle. For the gloves, I have font of vigor, momentum transfer, and fastball. On the chest piece is just all your resistances. Get that resistance up to whatever you need for the encounter you have it at. Geomax stabilizers, gotta have the weapon surges. If you like whisper, like I do, want to use whisper, assault weapon surge. Want to use, say, a hammerhead, go void surge. Pick your surges based on your weapon you're dealing the damage with. If you're doing a, say, lantern encounter, like you would in, say, Crota's End, you can chuck on kinetic surges and use, say, a Fatebringer, and just clear them with Fatebringer. Honestly, it works really well. Definitely worth having one of these in your back pocket. Another class item, you basically just got some boosts, mostly just powerful attraction and time dilation, so extended duration on your armor charges, and when you pop your rift, you also get the orbs drawn to you. It's pretty fantastic. Now go over to the class. We also have Chaos Reach. It'd be weird to use the boots without Chaos Reach. Healing Rift, Burst Glide, Ball Lightning, and Storm Grenade. I just like Storm Grenade. It looks the coolest. It's just my favorite. Aspects, I'm running Arc Soul because giving your team Arc Buddies is so good, especially day one content or a bit harder content. In terms of running Pantheon, this is not the build for that, but it's still a good build to have in your back pocket in case you need it. Then we've got Electrostatic Mind. This Ionic Trace is making amplified. Amplified is good. You want it to be amplified in this build. Alrighty. For fragments, I run Spark of Feedback, Spark of Vaults, Spark of Resistance, and Spark of Magnitude, making my Storm Grenade last slightly longer. It's fantastic. Off to build number 2, and we have my personal favourite. This is the Sunbraces build. This build is purely get grenades and throw lots of them really fast. Alright, what makes this build work really well is momentum transfer. Cause damage with your grenade reduces your melee cooldown. So you're throwing lots of grenades, you're going to get your melee back faster. You get your melee back faster, you can throw more grenades. That's the only loop you need with this build. Now I've gone 100 resilience, 100 recovery, 100 discipline again, because my armor allows me to do so. And just run a little bit of intellect on there. I don't bother with strength because you're throwing so many grenades, you get your melee charge back by the time you finish throwing those grenades. It is absolutely insane, and running it in Legend Onslaught has been fantastic. In terms of weapons, I like running Fatebringer, especially with Thresh and Firefly. Just one of my favourite roles to use. Forbearance just for clearing some adds, whatever you want here, if I'm going to be honest with you. And then G-horn because I just like running G-horn. I've been using Xenophage a lot more, but depends on where you're fighting, depends on what damage weapon you will use. G-horn is just fantastic for Onslaught, and this is what I'm primarily using this build currently. Pantheon has been quite nice to use, purely for ad clearing rooms, and then I switched to a Luna well later on, but in terms of getting through ads, this is my go-to. In terms of the subclass, we run Well of Radiance because you're never going to use a Dawnblade in any DPS phase. Honestly, it doesn't do enough damage, and Wells are just too good. Healing Rift, Burst Glide, Incinerator Snap, and Solar Grenade. You need to run Solar Grenade, otherwise the gauntlets will not work. You got Icarus Dash and Touch of Flame. Solar Grenades last longer. And yes, this does stack with the gloves, so your grenades last for ages. It's so good. In terms of fragments, we have Emperor of Mercy, we have Emperor of Resolve. Every time you get a grenade kill, it heals you. This just heals you. This with summon of a heal clip, it's so hard to die. We have Emperor of Searing, and then I run Emperor of Wonder. It just gives me orbs. It just feeds into itself and is absolutely fantastic. I love this build. It is my go-to build for any encounter where I don't know what is happening. I can pick and choose from there. Build number 3 is the Stacy build. Now this build is something that you kind of need for ad control. This is more of a GM build when I was running GMs. And it has worked on day 1 raids, especially for Crota's End and the bridge encounter. That was fantastic for just controlling those ads, so you kind of keep them filtering a bit better through and we weren't getting walled. For this build you want to run obviously Shadebinder, you want to have Cold Snap Grenades, and you want to have Blink Watcher fragments. User's choice. I kind of just run whatever I feel like is going to be nice, but you really want to have that. Yeah, and 100 Discipline, get those grenades back faster. A minute cooldown per turret, you get 2 turrets per full charge. It is absolutely fantastic. This is a build you kind of want to have in your back pocket if you find you're being overrun by ads and it's not a boss encounter, or you have multiple well users and you want to use something different. This will help you control those ads so your team can get through. Weapons of choice is completely up to you. Whatever the encounter calls for, whatever the artifact calls for. Alrighty, going into build number 4. This is the DPS build. Now when you're DPS phase and you're like, oh man, we need to put more DPS out there, obviously we're going to run Lunas. Rifts increase weapon reload speed. So this also works on well. So if you have a load as well, all your weapons of your team reload faster. So if you chuck on solar loaders and Luna factions, you're reloading your gun almost as fast as you possibly can. Now this works with any build. I use it with well, obviously for DPS phase, you pop a well down, it works. But you can use the rifts on any subclass. So if it's say an Atrax, like we are doing for Pantheon, and you got the class ability, you want to put a few more rounds in there than you normally could, or your teammates forgot to reload their gun, you're counting down, you pop your rift, you got a Nova Bomb on, everyone reloads slightly faster, Nova Bomb goes off, rift still works really well. For me, I use it with Izzy and Cataclysmic. That's my swaps at the moment. I do use an Apex Izzy swap, that also works, or I got a Cataphract Izzy swapped on this build as well. Change your surge mods to suit you. Honestly, you will need it. Stats don't really matter. This is purely about reloading your guns faster and being utilizing your build for your team. Not about what you can do, so what you can help your team achieve. If everyone reloads faster, you do more DPS. It's as simple as that. If I can fire 10 bullets to your 7 bullets because I reloaded slightly faster at the beginning, I do more damage. It's that simple. Alrighty, next build is one of my oh my god builds. This is where you are this is the Pantheon build I used to start with, and it definitely was the Legend Onslaught that I used, and that's Phoenix Protocol Well of Radiance. This means you get wells back. So if you're the only Warlock on the team and you need wells and you also need to stay alive, Phoenix Protocol will be your friend. Every time someone gets a kill inside your rift, it gives you more super energy. If you pair this with a Thresh weapon, or teammates dropping orbs for you, you will get your super back before your well actually ends. I was using this in Pantheon with my Fatebringer, and I was getting my well before my well finished. So it's actually insanely a fun build, and yeah, it's really all you need about it. Xenophage and like a Thresh primary will do you justice, but in all fairness, the exotic piece on its own, as long as you have decent stats, will do you what you need to get done. This exotic only works well though, so it is a well build. One of the last builds I want to go over is this guy right here, the Cenotaph Mask. This is a build you must have if you are a Warlock doing any in-game content, because this mask, if you tag something like a yellow bar or a champion with a trace rifle, it marks them. If your teammates kill them, it drops heavy ammo. If you pair this with the Aeon Gauntlets with another teammate, you will generate an insane amount of ammo for your team. And if you're ever done a day 1 raid, you will know, final stand, you're most likely out of ammo. This will help you get to that stand and still have some rockets or some snipes left to do that extra damage rather than relying on Outbreak or Revision 0 for your damage output. Honestly, for my trace rifle, I run Occasion's Dejection with Reconstruction and Target Lock, so I don't have to reload it. I can just tag a couple and chuck it away and it'll just top up the magazine. It's like 180 rounds I believe it gets to. It's actually pretty awesome. But yeah, I run that with Well of Radiance, and I usually use healing grenades, just like throw healing grenades around, keep it alive. Because you are not killing enemies, you're kind of just marking them all, so getting out and healing is always a bonus. I use just solo loaders, reserves on, and surges on as normal. Surges to match your damage weapons. But Cenotaph Mask is a must-have. That is build number 5, I believe. 2, 3, 4. Oh, that's 6. Alrighty. So we've got a bonus build here. And this build is purely for the final shape. And that is a full legendary armor build. I'll tell you why. Now for this, in terms of stat distribution and what I've gone for, I've got no fragments on. This is purely just a empty class slot. This is where Prismatic will be. Alrighty. This class, the reason I've gone full legendary, is with Prismatic you have exotic class items. So the class item is the part that's made exotic. So you want no exotic armor pieces in here. You're going to get the best stats you possibly can. Now if you want to do the best stats you possibly can, what you want to do, you're going to head over to your inventory, check how many wish, witch, deep, and define engrams you have. Go to the vendors, make sure your ghost has the right mod on it, this recovery armor mod, and roll for gear. You will find you'll get some insane stat gear. Get the best you possibly can in each category. Once you've done that, if you still have time, I would suggest trying to replace those pieces of gear with the same stat rolls with Artifice and get better stats. Won't necessarily be needed, but it's always nice, like I did here for the boots. I got Artifice boots in the end, even though I had legendary non-Artifice boots in the beginning. That allows me to have almost triple 100s without any input from a subclass. So when the subclass comes around, I will easily have triple 100s, even get close to some good stats, depends on what Prismatic can bring to the table, or I can sacrifice some stats and have a really amazing subclass. Weapons will be dependent on what you want to use, but I might try Mountaintop out. I haven't got a gold roll, but I'm keeping this roll. Lead from Gold and Vorpal, just because it's just all round good. And Summoner, because that thing is just gross to use. It is so nice. And then Whisper, just because I like the way it fires, but I'll probably end up using Xenophage or Hammerhead. Depends on what I got. No, depends what we're going to do. But yeah, that is a build you kind of want to have ready to go. So as soon as you get Prismatic and you get a class item that's fantastic, you can chuck it in there and then make that your Prismatic build and swap them out. I'm hoping we do get more loadout slots, like another 5 here, because Prismatic with all those class items is going to be absolutely insane. Anyway, I hope that has helped you guys out. If you guys have enjoyed the video, or if you want to see these builds in action and where you want to see them, let me know in the comments down below. If you want to see my Pantheon runs with my team, or if you want to run Legend Onslaught, also let me know. If there's other classes you want to see, I can try and get some builds together. But as you know, I did delete all my gear and all my vault. So I'm slowly going through and replenishing everything. But yeah. So I'll try and make as many builds as I can for you guys. But as a Warlock main, this is my home, this is where I live. But guys, I want to say thank you so much for watching. You guys are absolutely amazing for supporting the channel. And if you kind of want to support the channel but don't know what to say, just type in Warlock in the comments down below. That goes a long way of helping me out. So yeah, until next time guys, thank you so much for watching.